Welcome back. So, in the last video, we have seen introduction of deep learning, and we have gone through the difference between AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So, today in this video, we will talk about the life cycle of machine learning, and we'll see what is linear and non-linear problems. So, let's move for the video. So, in this particular video, we will see the life cycle, what are the different parts in the machine learning or any deep learning. On the top of it, we will see the learning types and why neural network is so powerful. So these three major aspects we will see in this particular video. So the very first thing that we have to look into, what kind of problem a machine learning or deep learning can solve. So you can see if a problem is not deterministic. Deterministic means the problem if we have in hand that can solve with a step-by-step guide, or you can say suppose I want a problem that is the sorting problem. So you have a specific algorithm or various algorithms that will follow step by step and you will get your final answer. This kind of algorithms known as deterministic algorithm, and that will solve your problem in the finite time or some definite time. But there are many problems which are not deterministic in nature. They are non-deterministic in nature. Let's say we want to see a handwritten character recognition. So if you look into this word, there are millions of ways to write the same word or same letter. So means if you make a rules, then it's very difficult, or you can say close to impossible, to make the rules for solving these kind of problems. Similarly, if you say speech recognition, so those kind of problems you cannot solve with a deterministic way. So if you have a problem in hand that you cannot solve with a deterministic way, then you have to look into these solutions in terms of machine learning and deep learning. Similarly, if you take another example, spam emails. So that is also, you can say there is no specific rules for that. For example, I want to buy a house. Then the mails which is coming from builders, that is not spam for me. That is useful mail for me. But a person who do not have any plan to buy the house in near future, then that same mail is become spam for that person. So means there is no hard and fast rule. So these kind of problems we are able to solve with the help of machine learning or deep learning. Now, what is special in the deep learning, or you can say in the neural network, that makes it so powerful, right? So neural network is not a very new term. It is quite old, right? So in the previous time, neural network required two important things to understand the problem, to understand the patterns, to solve the problem. First thing, it required labeled data. That is, you can say, fuel for the neural network algorithm, right? Or you can say any kind of algorithm. Then second, in order to train these networks, you required computing power. So in the previous time, or you can say a few years back, we do not have this much huge amount of labeled data. On the top of it, even if we are able to make the data, then we do not have computing power. So as these two things evolve nowadays with the help of digital media, digital systems, so we are able to train some bigger network. Now the beauty of this neural network, if you have a small neural network, it will have some lesser accuracy. As we are able to make more complex network, our accuracy will improve further. And that's the beauty behind the neural network. But other traditional machine learning algorithm will reach up to a certain level. After that, even you increase the label data, then also you will not able to increase the performance. But that is not true in terms of, or in case of neural network, right? So that's why neural network will become very powerful as we have lot of computing powers in terms of GPUs, and we have enormous amount of labeled data as well in hand to solve the problem. Now let's see what variety of learning we have. In general, we have three variety of learning. One is supervised learning, second is unsupervised learning, and third is reinforcement learning. So let me give you like in a broader term or in a layman language. So suppose if we have correct answer with respect to the input examples to train the network, then that is supervised learning. But if you have only data in hand and we are looking for some pattern, but there is no specific correct answer, then that is unsupervised learning. Right? And the third one, in case of reinforcement learning, we have some data, we have some indicators to indicate the correctness, but that indicator will not help you to modify the algorithm. They will give you either it is correct. If it is correct, you will get the rewards. If it is not correct or if it is wrong, then you will give the negative rewards, or you can say punishment. So this is the way how these three different variety of algorithms are in the picture. Let me take examples for that. So in case of supervised learning, suppose you want to classify dog and cat, and if you have n number of images along with the data, or you can say output, that in first image it is cat, in second image it is dog, and so on, then the algorithm will learn as per supervised learning because you have data inputs along with the outputs. Now suppose in case of unsupervised learning, let me take example. Suppose we are in the class or a group is there, a bigger group is there where n number of peoples are there. Now I'm saying I want to make clusters, or you can say in layman language, I want to make the groups. So now one person maybe make the groups in terms of okay, all ladies will be one side, all gents will be one side. So that is one way of grouping. Then another person can say, okay, whoever have more than 50 years, they will go in one side. Whoever have less than 50 years, they will go in another side. Similarly, there can be n number of patterns to make the groups. So that is unsupervised learning. So it is based on the desired output that answer is correct or incorrect. Similarly, in case of reinforcement learning, suppose you are playing a game. So in order to learn it, it is correct or wrong. Ultimately, we are not, no one is saying it is correct or wrong. It is coming in terms of your scores, what scores you are getting. And slowly, in order to increase the score, you improve your performance. That is the reinforcement learning. So these are three major variety of learning: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Now there is one very important term, that is the features. Right. So let's take one example like house price prediction. So in case of house price prediction, what kind of inputs we can give to the algorithm? So you can say you can give number of houses, house area, air pollution in that particular place, distance from facilities, economic index of that particular city, security ranking, etc. etc. You can give these kind of features to predict the house price. Similarly, if we are saying I want to check image classification, so what you will give? You will give pixel values, you can give curves, you can give edges to find out what particular class it is belonging. Right? So these are the features for a particular task which is coming from the input side. Getting? So that is the importance of features. Now there is another thing that is known as weights. Now we have seen the features. So for example, if you take house price prediction, now how much weightage you will give to the number of rooms? How much weightage you will give the house area? How much weightage you will give the air pollution? Right? How much weightage you will give to the distance from facility? So ultimately you are not giving the same weights to all the features. You are giving different weights to the different feature because they have different impact on house price. So some features have high impact, some features have low impact. So this impact will be decided by the weights. So weights will say if it is a high impact, the value will be higher. Now that weights can be negative and positive as well. So suppose if you are saying house price and you are saying the crime, if you have higher crime, then house price will be lower. So it means it has negative impact. So might be your value will be in the negative side. So weight will decide how much importance you are giving to a particular feature. Now let's see, there are two variety of regression. One is linear regression and second is logistic regression. Now in case of linear regression, when we are predicting a number in terms of, let's say, what will be the price of particular stock, then you can say, okay, the price of this stock will be 1100 rupees, or the price of this stock in the next day will be 750 rupees, right? Similarly, if you say house price prediction, you will say the price of house will be 10 lakh 30,000, or the price of this house will be 5 lakh 60,000. So this is the number that you are trying to predict. This kind of problem is known as linear regression, right? Now there is another variety of application where you are saying in terms of yes or no. So you can say, this will say yes or no. So you can say, I'm showing a picture to you, I'm saying, and I'm asking, is there is any cat on this picture? So you will say yes or no, right? So these kind of algorithm is comes under the logistic regression, where answer is the binary answer. It will be 0 or 1, right? Now let's understand linearity versus non-linearity. So linear system, when we have a linear relation between inputs and output, that is the linear system. Now if you will say non-linear, they do not have any input relation, or inputs have relation with the outputs in terms of linear line. So let's understand this with the example. Can we draw a line that can divide red separately? Let's look into this picture. Can we draw a line that can divide blue separate, red separate, and yellow separate? We can't. We cannot draw any line here, right? Similarly, if you look into the second pattern, can we draw a line that will divide, or you can say separate out, the red and green, red and blue? So you can find, no, we cannot make a line. So in that case, what we can do? So for example, in first one, you can draw a circle. So this circle is non-linear. You can draw a circle inside. So this is again non-linear. If you look into here, you can draw something like this, which is non-linear in the pattern. So there are non-linearity in the nature. Even if you look into the real world, that is also completely non-linear. There is no linear relationship between two things. Now let's say I want to find out, just very simple task, I want to find out, is a cat in that image or not? So can we form some linear rules? No, we can't. We should have non-linearity in the nature. So once we have non-linearity in the nature, then we have to look into the non-linear functions as well. So similarly here, cat versus dog. So if you are identifying cat versus dog, then it's very difficult to find in the linear line. Where is the dog? Where is the cat? Correct? So these are the major challenges in the world. Now let's look into the life cycle of machine learning, or this is the same life cycle used in the deep learning as well. So the very first thing that we require is the data. Once we have the data, then second important step, we need to prepare the data or clean the data, right? Once we prepare it, clean it, or you can say labeled it, then we go choose a particular algorithm. Let's say I have chosen the neural network. So then that will be the algorithm. So based on that algorithm, we will train our model. Once we train our model, we will check with the test data. Is really our model is performing well or not? If it is not performing well, then we need to improve it further with the training example by modifying some values. Then again you will test with the training data. Then again you will improve it, again test, again improve, and so on till you are not satisfied with the algorithm, or you can say with your model. So this is the life cycle of any training example, or you can say any particular algorithm. So we start with the data, then we clean it, prepare it, manipulate it, then we train our model, test our model. If your model is not up to the mark, then improve it further. So this is the life cycle. Thank you guys. We'll catch you in the next video.